Today we're going to run and make sure she gets her headphones on, but we're going to kind of show you how to run a side hustle from your normal job, or at least talk through some of the issues.
Are we though? There's some ifs, ands, and buts in there.
Yes, there is, and lots of cautionary tales too.
Cautionary.
So anyways, stay tuned. Episode 15 after the intro. See you. So the big question is this. How are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle Podcast. Hey everybody, thanks for joining again, episode number 15 of the Heart and Hustle Podcast. Last time we ended, we figured we were going to kind of talk about something a little bit kind of controversial this time.
I wouldn't say it's controversial.
It could be controversial. I did it.
Well,
Have you ever done it?
no.
You've never done it.
No.
I've seen you do it.
No.
Yes, you have.
No.
Yes, you have. Anyways, back to topic. So years and years ago, circa 1999, 2000, somewhere in that
The
time
year
frame.
the world was supposed to end.
Yeah. In fact, that happened. I was at my job at Experian, the credit reporting agency, and I was a IT administrator, engineer person there. And I was there the night of 1999 going into 2000 watching the clocks to make sure the place didn't burn down.
Were you actually in the office?
I was in the office.
Everybody thought the world was going to end. Y2K.
Yeah, because you want to make sure the system stayed up, right? And they did.
So everybody actually legit thought that was a thing.
Yes.
Even the IT people.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Anyways, back on topic.
It was kind of disappointing that absolutely nothing happened.
Yeah, it's
Nothing.
Dates and 1900s and all this other weird stuff. It clicked over just fine. There was no issue.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, but at that time, something, my whole entrepreneurial type journey, I guess, started years before that. But at that time, I was conflicted. Do I do my own thing? Do I keep working at this nice job with this really cool guy named Rick? What do I do? And so to kind of preface this, several years before this, getting back into the mid 1990s, I guess, I met a wonderful person. He ran a nonprofit, still is there to this day. He's going to be retiring soon. But I had him as a little bit of a side hustle. As far as working, I maintained, supported a good handful of companies during that time. And I kind of worked full time too. And I was kind of running my little side business from my cube at Experian. I tried very hard not to let those two worlds, as George Costanza would say, combine.
Worlds are colliding! George is getting upset!
But oftentimes they did. I would dive out from lunch and go and fix my client stuff, and Rick would have my back when I was gone, of course, and come back and kind of get back to work at Experian. But at the end of the day, truth be told, I also put a ton of hours for that company too, nights and weekends, making sure that they were up and stable, but kind of hacked time a little bit. So can't say I was 100% there every day full time. I was there, but not always present. Always kind of had to work on some things. But at the end of the day, the time was definitely spent on their environment too. But the goal of today's podcast is to really kind of talk about people that run their side hustle from their main job, trying to really do that. And I encourage everybody to obviously have a side hustle if they're doing that, but there becomes a world, or becomes a time when worlds collide and you're conflicted. What do you do?
Well, we've had some people try to run their side hustle while working for us.
Absolutely. And we
have
encourage
not
it.
had good luck with that, though.
We have not had good luck with it, but I've also encouraged it. So I can't say that we as an employer have struggled. Me as the entrepreneur guy and person that, really does respect a person to a degree doing that. I do encourage it, as long as it does not get in the way of what we're trying to do.
And there's where the struggle lies.
Right.
There's where the trouble has been, because the focus becomes their side hustle and their full-time job kind of goes by the wayside. And we struggle because of their lack of not being able to hack that time.
That's right. And I think there's certain jobs or certain types of things, careers that when people have as their full-time gig and then they have their side hustle that you can do that in. You know, when I was at Experian, for example, I could do that because I knew the expectations. You know, I was a run-of-the-mill IT person. There were multiple of us out there across many different states. I had my marching orders I had to get accomplished and largely left alone, you know, during the day to accomplish my tasks. And, you know, as always, the overachiever that I am, and you know I am, I always got my stuff done. I mean, it's like, okay, I'm done by 10:30 in the morning. Now what, you know? So I had time to do that kind of stuff because, you know, I met and exceeded the expectations of which my employer put on me at the time. But then also I was bored. I was like, well, what else do I do? So for me, it was okay. People that work within my world now, the expectations are there. However, they're absurdly just all over the place, meaning that we don't know sometimes where we're going to be, what we're going to do, and how we're going to accomplish it from day to day. We know we have to get stuff done, but we have things that pop up all the time.
Right.
And that becomes a problem for people that have a side hustle with inside of our world, is because they could at any moment in time be asked to do almost anything for any customer. And that's very difficult. And we found that out the hard way with a few individuals, meaning, hey, you know, come work for us. That's great. You know, just let me know what's going on. Be open about it. You know, from the web designer that, you know, he had his web design company out there. We had actually two people that did that. Some of the individuals did like part-time real estate. And no, not you, Ben, somebody else. Ben's our IT service director. He's a really great guy. So anyways, and that was difficult, I think, because they just kind of got those calls too, and they had to all sudden dive. And when that happened, they left current clients not always available.
Yeah, that was hard.
So I know you did it too. I mean, you in the beginning of this episode, I was kind of blaming you a little bit, but you know, before you came on with our company with Soren, you know, you were working full time at a county agency, governmental agency, but yet you were still consulting with us a little bit because we were going through our issues and some things that we had going on with certain individuals, employees, and even customers that we're dealing with as we're trying to kind of merge in this whole HR aspect and kind of figuring out what we're going to do. So we met a few times kind of discussing that. And I know you probably took a half day off work, or you took, you know, a few hours off to meet with me to kind of discuss what was going on with our stuff. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between, you know, I'm putting my HR hat again. But there's a difference between...
We should get HR hats. You know what we should do?
HR and IT hats.
We need to get HR hats where we put our CIO hat on or put our HR hat on. Then we know we're talking serious, or, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that have part-time jobs outside of their full-time jobs, and that's A-okay as long as it doesn't negatively impact your full-time position. And, you know, if you take a half a day off because you have vacation banked up, you have that time available, what you do on your vacation time is up to you. It's if you're taking time off that you don't have available or not being consistent with your full-time employer, that's when it becomes an issue.
But we suck because, you know, at the end of the day, we have unlimited vacation in our company. It's like unlimited PTO. Everybody can have self-managed time off, and people take advantage of you.
That has happened.
That has happened.
We have actually come to the point where we thought, is this self-managed time off thing actually going to work for us?
Yes.
It ended up, you know, the people who weren't allowing it to work so well kind of weeded out over time, and I think it's going pretty well right now. So we don't have people that take advantage of it at this point, but you know, we run the other side where people are a little nervous to take time off because there's so much going on. And so again, there's another HR topic that we could do a whole podcast on. But
yeah, my issue I think with side hustles is for people that double dip, and not to reference Costanza again and double dip the chip.
Did you just double dip that chip? Excuse me? You double dipped the chip.
But double dip where people say, hey, I'm working two jobs at once, and they're thinking, hey, I'm working an hour for this person, you know, from 9 to 10 in the morning, and I'm also working, an hour for somebody else 9 to 10. I'm getting paid from 2 different companies for the same time slot. That is not right. I don't believe that that is the current case. I think that
But does it matter as long as they're getting both jobs done?
I don't think you can. I really don't think you can. I think
I think that multitasking is quite difficult to do it right and do it well and be upfront about it.
Yeah, I think if both employers know about it, they're on the same page, and absolutely yes. But that's far and few in between. I think that if you have, if you're a salaried individual and you're able to, put in the time and you're meeting or exceeding, let's just say meeting and exceeding expectations from your current employer. And by that I mean you're going to have to probably put in the hours over nights and weekends to make that happen. To do that, I look at it and just say, hey, if you're gonna have a side hustle, you have something that you can do during your nights and weekends and your off hours, and not go on vacations and not do the whole, I'm going skiing for the weekend, but actually work. And saw the dogs moving outside, so sorry for the distraction there. A couple tails wagging over the window. But actually, kind of put in the time and the effort. Don't think, hey, I can only work between 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and my gosh, I got to get both things done. I got to get my normal job done and my side hustle done during those hours, because after 5, that's kind of me time for me to spend time with my family, or go out with friends or do your thing, and before 8, dude, don't wake me up, I'm sleeping. And the weekends, my gosh, those are my sacred times. That's my time. So that is a piece where I have a really, really, really hard time with.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think that's largely, that's why we struggled with it with some of our employees as well at the time, because some of them had that philosophy. Some of them did not, but some of them did. So.
Yeah, I look at it, just say, hey, if people are lucky enough to have that side hustle and figure out what they love to do, and I know people that have, they can make $100,000 a year from, being an expert on kites, or being an expert in, certain He-Man. Oh no, we're recording, but our video went off. So I need to fix my video now, and we're not gonna let this go. So I'm gonna turn things over to you. I want you to talk for a little bit while I put a different battery in there, so our.
Okay, I'll keep talking.
Yeah, so.
Well, I was going to say that's one of the things that I really appreciate about you, is because you want everybody to do what it is that they love, and you want everybody to just be passionate about whatever it is they do. And even we've had people who work for us in the past who IT wasn't necessarily their passion, when they wanted to own a restaurant, or they wanted to scrub barnacles off the bottom of a boat. And you have always encouraged that, even while they were working with us and working for us. You've never wanted to hold people back from what it is that they dream of doing. And I think that's very admirable, and I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, so we're going to see if we have video here in a second. And I'm not sure if we are, so what is going on here? But keep talking, you sound really good. Keep going.
What do you want me to keep talking about?
Let's talk about barnacles.
It does, after being in Florida, it sounds like I could handle that job, I think. I wouldn't mind doing it. Florida beaches were pretty amazing.
Yeah, they were.
But I haven't been to a whole lot of beaches to compare, so I don't know.
We got our video back, and shame on me for not having a side hustle on how to keep a freaking battery charged over the week. But so hopefully we had some weird slideshow or something going up between that time. But we did get the audio at least. But no, we had a gentleman that worked for us. His name is Jeff. He's a good guy. But his dream job was scrubbing barnacles off of a boat. I mean, he literally wanted to put a scuba suit on and just do barnacles.
Here's what we'll do. We'll scrape all these little delicious oysters or whatever off the side of the boat. We'll put them in a pot. We'll boil them up before you get back.
We'll cook them for you. No,
there you go.
No, those are barnacles. Do not eat those. Do not cook them in a pot and serve them to us.
Okay,
Don't do it.
All that. Honestly, don't eat those. You'll get very, very sick.
Yeah.
It's because he didn't want to interact with people, in my opinion. He was not one to kind of deal with the day-to-day issues, and he just wanted that solace of scrubbing.
He was from that area, and he, the ocean was his thing, and it was relaxing to him.
Yeah.
So that's what he wanted to do. I hope he gets to do it someday.
I do too, but I don't think he will.
You don't think so? he's pretty rooted in this area right now, and it's hard to scrub barnacles off the bottom of a boat from Nebraska.
Yeah, it definitely is. We had another gentleman, Brock was his name. Good guy. He his dream job was to be a chef. He really wanted to be own his own little bar and grill, short order cook guy. And IT wasn't his passion. I know that. I mean, he was good, and I think he was good on the phone. He was good with support, but he really wanted to be that chef. And I told him his first day here, I said, let's find that job for you. Let's, if this is not your passion, I loved it. You love to do it. You're good at what you do here, but let's figure out how to open up a restaurant someday. Let's figure out what we should do and kind of encourage that. So. I hope he's doing that now. I really, really, really do.
I do too.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than going to a job every day and not being happy at it. So.
Are you happy at your job here?
I do.
Well, you have a different role, obviously, but are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. We have our stressful days. We have our moments, but I don't always love the never know what's going to happen world. I know you love that aspect of it, but it kind of makes things it makes things exciting, but it also makes things challenging. And kind of like we were talking about the other night over dinner, sometimes it's hard to, and I find this not only with us but with other organizations that we serve, some of the things that I'm involved with and the things that I do and the things that I focus on kind of get swept under the rug a little bit because of all the fires that pop up and all the emergencies and I have to deal with this, I have to deal with this, I have to deal with this. And I kind of sit there and go, where do I fit in all of this?
No, it's really not where you fit. I think at the end of the day, people are doing it for the lack of not wanting to have to deal with the core issue. I mean, it's like anything else. You have a really tough issue you have to talk about, you have to address, and then all of a sudden distraction, I have the ability to get out of this conversation.
True that.
So there's a lot of, I think, clients that you deal with in your world that have real serious people issues and issues that are impacting their company, their organization, their leadership teams, their technical teams, whatever team that they're on, they're really struggling, but they don't want to address the issue. They want to scapegoat out of it and say, we had this fire over here, so at the end of the day, we had to address it and not really hit it.
Yeah, that's the case sometimes.
Yeah. I think
even in, developing your core processes and, okay, here's an issue. How are we going to fix it? Sometimes it's hard to just be able to get people to sit down, focus on the problem for a minute so they can move forward. And sometimes that's hard, but. And
that's why I want to bring that side hustle full circle. Like for me, bring it up to your employer, say, hey, listen, I develop websites on the side. I sell flowers on the side. I have the biggest Smurf online business in the entire country. I do well over 150,000 a year in business selling Smurfs.
That's a thing.
It's a big thing.
Who knew?
But be honest and open with your employer about it. Don't try to hide it. I mean, I was the loser and I tried to hide it. I mean, I really, really did because I was afraid that my boss at the time, Don, in fact, I went legit cool on him. Rick and I put web cameras up on Don at one time just to kind of make sure we knew where the cat was when the mice were out playing, So, yeah, we knew what was going on.
Not cool, dude.
No, not cool at all. But we also had the ability to address certain networking issues. We knew what VPNs were. We knew how to hide traffic. We knew how to manipulate firewalls to make it sure that we could get out to our client sites and help them. So being in the IT world, I mean, sometimes you got to have a little due diligence against those IT admins out there because not most of them, probably a lot of them have a lot of part-time gigs, side hustles, helping their neighbor, helping their friend, or they get the call from mom and dad or grandpa or sister, aunt.
Poor
uncle.
IT guys. That happens to IT guys all the time.
It happens all the time. I mean, your dad calls and says, hey, my phone broke or this happened, and they expect you just to fix it now.
Yeah.
But that happens a lot. I mean, we have people here at work, with us, they're getting calls from, spouses and family all the time. So it's like, we get it. I mean, we're not going away with it. And I think at the end of the day, we support it as long as people are open and honest about it.
True. Yeah.
I would have to say that. So.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you know anybody else that has had a side hustle with inside your old county days?
Oh, yeah. Everybody did. Yeah. I mean, when you're working for county government, it's not like you're making big money. Like most people, it's hard for them to sustain a family on government.
So did that work ever get in the way of their normal job?
Sometimes. Yep.
Sometimes.
There were a few situations I had to address through that. A lot of times it was not necessarily side hustle business type things. It was more, I have to leave here at 4:30 so I can get to my second part-time job by
Got
5.
it. Yeah.
So those were more of the issues I dealt with at that point.
I always liked the ones. I had a buddy of mine that was a volunteer firefighter, and he was like, it's a small town, a rural area, southeast Nebraska, and he's doing his job, and all of a sudden, click, click, oops, I got to go fight a fire. And at that point, everybody's like, oh yeah, that's great, go do your thing, because you're doing the whole, saving the world thing. But yet, if the person next to him is trying to go fight a fire, and that fire being someone's computer's broken in their family, they'll get pretty much ridiculed. They'll get mad at him. How dare you do that? But you can leave and go fight a fire.
Wow.
Not the right thing to say, probably either.
Yeah.
It's not, but side hustles are really good, I think. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But we do it now. I mean, we're running a business here, and we have a side hustle. We have Jason's Heart going on. We have Heart and Hustle podcast going on. We have 3 or 4 things outside of our normal soaring that we're doing that we consider side hustles, and we're turning them into not so side hustles.
I was going to say, are those really side hustles though, or are those an extension of the business that we're already doing?
It's zero extension of the business that
Well,
we're in.
you know what I
because, yeah, I know what you mean, but they started out as side hustle. I mean, we spent time during business hours, quote unquote, of our company to think, do, process, meet, and in fact, we have board meetings for it.
Well, we're so busy with Soaring Group, we don't have time to do it while working for Soaring Group. But we're always working for Soaring Group.
We are always working for Soaring Group.
It's a blurred line there.
With that 4, we all work together.
What'd I say? 4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I hate that because I'm working for somebody. It's like, no, you're not. They're working for you. That's a whole nother concept, I guess, in the minds of Tom.
Okay. We can save that for another podcast.
Yeah, another episode, I think. I don't know. Anyways,
Okay.
I'm going to wrap this up.
Yep.
If you have a side hustle and you're watching this, like and comment below. Let us know what you're doing. If you need any help trying to circumvent your employer,
Don't say
and
that.
if you need help circumventing your employer and trying to get around the system to actually make your side hustle your
If
real
you
thing,
need help figuring out how to do it the right way, talk to us.
talk to us. In fact, let's write a book about it.
Like how to be
How to-
honest and
how to
open
ru-
about running your side hustle.
How to run a business
or how
from
to
your
hide
cube.
your side hustle.
No. Hide your family, hide your wife. The video. How to run a business from your cube. I think we can write the book. I know I can.
Well,
Might not
Could
be a
be
New
two
York Times
interesting
bestseller.
perspectives.
Yeah. There you go. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Take care, and
see you later.
see you later. Ciao. Is ciao a goodbye?
I don't know. I think so.
Yeah.
Or is it hello?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
See ya.
We better look that up.
Bye.
Google that.